smirk like you were secrets that hurt. But I was never concerned with the lesson. We were immortal, so I was never concerned with the blessing. I called mom like your daughter was gone. She wasn't shocked like I just stepped off the plane. Let me get a hold of your pops and stop. How does she have control of this devil? Wait, I'm reporting. Guess the apple ain't far from the kennel, so now it's just paperwork. Logistics in Philly, identifying the body, recovering all her property, seeing if the mortician perm forced her hair properly. Wait, that part is where it got to be. Fucking where is monotony? This shit is just dumb. Called your phone 20 times saying pick up just once, but it was done. You already took your last breath, so now a picture on the wall, so all that's left. Let's go.
It's the hope of every father that
Joaquin, you gotta remember,
their son can do better than they
we'll
ever
always be
did.
family, and nothing will ever change
My
that.
mom told me a long time, look after my sister. Joaquin,
I love you.
look after yours.
I love the two of you.
DJ Unique.
Let's cut to the punch. Time for the sequel.
By the way, what does redacted mean?
Welcome back to Redacted Media. We bring you the content as long as you mind your business. I am one of your co-hosts, Redacted, and this is
I am Jake, the other one.
the other one, the second. But we are here with another breakdown of Stephen King's magnum opus, The Dark Tower. We're on book 5 and episode 5. Wolves of the Calla. We're reading the chapters The Tale of Grey Dick and Grandpa's Tale. Tale and Tales.
And Nocturne Hunger.
And Nocturne Hunger. Yes. Forgot about that
Yes.
chapter. Yes. So thank you guys for joining along. If you are here live, go ahead and comment. Let us know you're here. Comment on whatever we're doing right and or wrong.
Mostly the right stuff.
Mostly the right stuff, though, because my ego can't take being told I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But if you're here later and you're not on live, turn on the notification bell. You could hop in live. Maybe contribute to the show, help us out. We help you, by giving you content. You can help us out by giving us more content. You know what I'm saying? So, before we get started, I wanted to show off that I actually remembered I did have a first edition of Dark Tower, Wolves of the Calla hardcover. It's pretty fun, good times. Got illustrations in there that I might show
yeah.
off a little bit. So,
Oh, well, there's a sick one right there.
Yeah.
It's right on the...
pretty badass. So, we'll
I love this cover for it, too. It feels very, especially with the font, very, pulp action. kinda.
definitely very pulpy.
Yeah. It's very fun.
Yes, it's a good one. And I left my paperback at work last weekend. They were supposed to
Oh,
record.
yeah?
And I was like, fuck, I'm not done with the reading. I was like, I don't want to audiobook this. So I was like, wait, I think I got a hardcover downstairs. Ran downstairs and got it. I didn't mark in it because I'm not a fucking savage, but I did read a lot of the chapters in this book. So yeah, pretty good time.
Hell yeah.
But-
Honestly, though, I think that chapter 6 would have been really good for the audiobook. I should have listened to it.
Which one is 6?
The one where Grandpa's telling us.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I might go back and re-listen to that because I kind of want to see how he does that voice.
Yeah, there's a lot of, they do the misspelling, right? I remember,
Right, yeah.
So
it
and
was kind of a puzzle.
Yeah.
To figure out what they're saying sometimes.
you kind of have to say it aloud inside your head,
It's
okay.
It's like that card game where they give you the
Yes.
like, what is this supposed to say? You're
Yeah.
like, pilot. You kind of gotta mush mouth it together to get the right words.
Yes, exactly. So do you want to start off with the breakdown of Grey Dick?
Yeah. So chapter 5, the tale of Grey Dick. Acting on his role as ambassador and leader, Roland is visiting the people of the Calla. He is currently at the Eisenhardt's Rocking Bee Ranch, speaking about the upcoming struggle. Roland has growing concerns about the lack of weapons in the Calla when Margaret Eisenhardt asks if he has ever heard the tale of Lady Oriza and the bandit Grey Dick. A long time ago, this mythical outlaw named Grey Dick killed Lady Oriza's father, and she wanted revenge. She feigns that she is seeking peace and proposes that they have a dinner to smooth things out. Grey Dick is not stupid, and he knows that this is probably a trap, so she says no. We'll eat completely in the nude. We'll be far away from each other. It'll just be the two of us. And Grey Dick is horny, and so he's like, well, if I'm going to be naked with a lady, something's probably going to happen. And so he decides to go. At the dinner, after they've been eating for a while and letting him get pretty drunk, she throws her plate at him, which has had its edges sharpened and ends up beheading the man. Margaret says that the reason that she told Roland this is because she is a member of a group called the Sisters of Ariza, a group of women who have taken up this deadly frisbee practice. After showing off her skills, Roland is feeling hopeful about the future.
Yeah, throwing plates. That is their ultimate weapon.
They've got sharpened titanium plates.
To a suicidal edge. I always love whenever people say that, a suicidal edge. Like, Jesus Christ. It's a really cool way to say it. I don't know. It always gets me where I need to go, right?
So they're like, it's got a nice heft of weight, so it can actually do something when it hits, and it's like razor sharp.
Yes. And do you remember how many guns the quartet has between them?
The quartet has 4, I believe.
I think it's just 3, right? Jake's
3?
Ruger and the 2 Roland's, right?
Yeah, Roland's 2 and then the Ruger. I think that I think King lost one at some point.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure that Eddie had brought one back when he got drawn in.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was that one maybe like a 9mm and they just never had 9mm bullets.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, or at least if you wanted to like write it in there.
Yeah.
Fix it in post. But so we see on the cover of my book that it is a lady in a wheelchair throwing plates at a wall. So we gotta assume maybe Susanna is gonna be a lady of Ariza and learn how to throw these damn plates.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Little spoiler there, but I was like, I got the book out. You know, you might as well look at it. So
Hell yeah, absolutely.
As somebody who knows how to throw plate shaped things a good distance, I play disc golf. This is badass. However,
did you read these first and then get into disc golf, or did you get into disc golf and then read these?
I've been in disc golf. I mean, my dad's been into it since I was a little kid,
Okay.
and as soon as I was like 14, I've been able to just go out. I used to not make fun of him, but like think he was lame for playing it. And now I'm in my 30s. I'm like, no, this is great.
Yeah.
This is really
It's
cool.
fun, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. I'll go to some tournaments and be like, damn, I am the coolest guy here. It's definitely some of those crowds like, oh man, these guys are out there.
Fucking nerds.
But I like those people too, though. Like people that
absolutely.
are interesting to me. Like I'd rather you be interesting than fucking normal and bland. But I like yeah, it's really cool. I had one more thing. Oh no, what was I gonna say? I don't fucking know. Let's go and look through our notes. Here.
Yeah. So one thing about this, like before, they start talking, Roland's kind of thinking to himself. He says, they've only got 23 days left until the wolves arrive. But he's also, even Roland is now worrying that the baby's going to come then or on that date even.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, so that's probably going to happen then.
Yeah. They got 23 days, but
Crack this open real quick. Move that away from the mic.
it's Joe and I start a podcast cracking a beer open. So
Rip it.
Yeah, have you guys been here since day one? You're used to that.
And part of their conversation when he's talking with I didn't write the guy's name down, but Mr. Eisenhart,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I get it, and I think that you guys are gonna do a good thing here, but what about after you beat them and you leave and they come back with greater numbers? Like, they're not sending everybody here when you're gonna fight them the first time.
Yeah.
Like, they will send some, if an entire group of them gets wiped out, like, there's going to be retaliation. What are you going to do then?
Yeah, for
What are we
sure.
going to do then?
And isn't Roland just like, you'll deal with that when it comes.
Yeah, he's basically like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But he didn't really have an answer for him.
Yeah, if you guys all die, whatever. I did my knight's duty here and got you through the winter. But spring's up to you.
And then the Eisenharts kind of have an interesting dynamic here because so their children, they're kind of a pair of older parents here. Their children were all born, close enough to the last time the wolves came that they're all grown up and adults now. So like, they don't have to worry about being taken.
Yeah.
But their children decided, hey, we're getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Because we don't want this to happen to our kids. So, like, in a way, we still lost all of our children and our grandchildren to the wolves.
Mm. Yeah.
And I was like, that is a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, you lost them, not in the literal sense, but they're
But,
gone.
like,
So
Yeah, they're gone from your life, and you haven't seen them in years, and you'll probably never see them again.
Like they come. What was it, every 20 years, something like that? It's not 27 like Pennywise, but close enough for government.
Yeah,
work,
I think
right?
it was like 24, maybe.
Why don't you just have a kid after the wolves come?
Right, just wait.
Why don't you just fuck after the wolves come?
Right.
Like, oh no, you're dumbass that had a kid at 17. Your kid's gone. Sorry.
Yeah. They're like, okay, so they come every like 24-ish years. It's been 10 years since they've been here, so we should probably just hold off for another decade.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's
Practice safe sex, people
Yes.
of the Calla.
yes. Abstinence is the only way. You think Father Callahan preaches abstinence?
Father Callahan showed up. He's like, I stole a handful of pills from a pharmacy.
Yeah.
These will have to last you forever.
Yeah, I got 1 month. Where the pregnancy pills? We'll have a good month though. Do they go bad?
Probably.
I'd imagine, right?
Yeah. I think because most pills do, like, or at least they'll have an expiration date where they become less effective. They don't really go bad, but
Yeah.
they don't work as well.
I remember. I mean,
We're
God,
not medical professionals. Do not take medical advice from us.
No, not at all. But Wolf of Wall Street, they take Quaaludes. They're like old time, like been stored away for like 20 years,
Yeah.
and they don't feel their effects right away. But then it hits them like a fucking truck afterwards. Like that's how it affected those pills. That's all I can think about, and that's all that movie's really good for is teaching you about pills. So.
Oh, and so after Margaret like comes out with the plate, Roland recognizes it from Deda's stories of the blue plate. It's the same blue and
It
white
is the
plate
blue
that,
plate, yeah.
or at least a very, very similar one.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what's kind of cool is that these plates are made out of titanium from like an old abandoned factory.
Titanium factory.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
they've like refitted some machines to make these plates.
Yeah.
And I guess they've just got someone out there like pressing plates,
Just stamping plates and moving along,
and mailing them out throughout all the different colors.
Yeah, it's a titanium. That's an interesting metal to choose from. Titanium is fucking heavy. As a compared to like aluminum or anything like that.
Right,
It's about
yeah.
steel, but yeah. We're gonna get to like the actually how these plates fly, and we'll get to that here in a bit. But I want to bring up, and I think this is Mrs. Eberhardt talking, and she's watching the boys run back in the barn where they're jumping off and swinging on the rope, right?
Oh yeah, Jake's here too.
Oh yeah, Jake is in the story still. And I wrote this down while I was at work, so take this with a grain of salt. The line is, Roland reached out and touched her hand. I couldn't have said it better myself. I underlined it and wrote Risland. Terrible joke, but it's written down.
These chains.
And I believe I was holding the book in my right hand, so I wrote down left-handed. So
Oh.
yeah, really terrible handwriting and a really terrible joke. So glad you guys stuck with us.
Speaking of terrible jokes, at one point when like Jake and the other kid are like, so what they're doing is they're like in a farm or in a barn and like jumping off the barn into like a pile of hay,
Yeah.
and like the other kid, he yells some stuff like oh, for Gilead, yada yada, and like just some stuff from their world. And when it's Jake's turn, he's like, New York, Empire State Building, the Twin Towers.
Like shucks.
And when I was highlighting on my Kindle, I highlighted that line and I just wrote a second Jake is at the towers. I thought it was fun.
Okay, so let's think about this in context of when this book came out. This came out in like 99. King writes something about the Twin Towers in the last book, The Dark Tower.
Okay.
How you feeling if he does that?
Because, wait.
It'd be about on time for him. He writes about like 2 to 3 books a year
Yeah, and these last 3 all came out like...
within like 3
Within-
year of each other.
Yeah, I was going to say, they came out like bam, bam, bam.
I believe the next 2 come out post 9/11. I
Okay.
believe. If like the planes crashing into the towers is somehow tied to the Dark Tower, how are you feeling? Like,
I'm going to lose my fucking shit, dude.
oh no.
I will die laughing. That would be absolutely wild.
Without any spoilers, I'm hoping that he would have been smart enough to not do that, especially that
I'm
close.
hoping. But I mean, you're writing a book about a tower and how it affects our world, and people, you know, just from context clues and from the movie, people are trying to tear the tower down.
With beams.
What if they get a the beams? What?
Wait. Jet fuel cannot melt Dark Tower beams, all right? Oh no.
But what if they get a little bit successful and the tower in our world starts crumbling?
Oh my god.
God damn.
The tower in our world basically being a monument to capitalism would be fucking fitting. Ugh, gross.
It happens as a result of one of the beam quakes.
That's what I'm saying, man. What the navigation went out in the plane.
Yep,
There
there
was
we go.
no terrorists. It was just good old Americans crashing planes.
Oops. Oopsie poopsie.
Oh god.
But also as like the boys are jumping off the barn and into the hay, Andy the robot is there. And he's kind of like catching them, making sure that they don't fall.
Mm-hmm.
But Roland's just starting to grow more suspicious of him.
Of Andy, yeah.
Yeah, because they're telling him like certain things that like Andy can't do, like or that he won't do.
Mm-hmm.
And also he kind of points out like, well, if Andy was built by the ancients, then why is he telling you guys about the wolves? Why is he programmed to know about the wolves
Mm-hmm.
if he was made like 2,000 years before they ever showed up?
Yeah.
And they're like, huh, I never thought to question that
There's
before.
never thought about it. Yeah, you know, robot, old ones, wolves, whatever. It's just life, you know. So we get into the story about old Gray Dick, right? She actually
Gray
starts
Dick.
talking- yeah. And what a weird thing to ask somebody. Come over for dinner for a truce. We're both gonna be naked.
Yes, so that we can't hide any weapons on ourselves.
You cannot kill people with your fists. It just can't happen, you know.
Well, that's why they're like 20 feet apart. So that they
You're right.
can't,
You're right. They
yeah.
were at the opposite ends of the table, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to imagine, like, the way I was imagining it was like one of those, like, big, like, long ballroom tables.
Yes, definitely.
She was at one end of it, he was at the other.
Yes.
And, like, the ballroom itself was, like, completely empty. It was just the two of them in there.
Yes. That's how I imagined it too. And I don't know. I like this little story. It was fun though. It was fun. I had a good time reading it. It just felt. I digress. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm good.
No, it was fun. It felt like very, like, kind of almost fairy tale-ish. Like, it's like, oh, this is a myth of the land.
Yes.
Lady Ariza.
Yeah.
She's also kind of considered like a goddess.
Yes.
So some of the people here.
Yeah.
That's like one of the other religions for the people who don't believe in Christ the man.
Christ the man Jesus. Yep.
Yep,
Christ and the man Jesus.
Yeah,
It's two
Christ
people.
and the man Jesus. And she's kind of like the goddess of the crop, of the rice. And yeah, so this is just like one of their tales about her.
I would say that her toast was pretty good though. Like before she threw it, I really did
Yeah.
enjoy that. Hers was, well, his was, may your beauty ever increase, and hers was, may your first day in hell last 10,000 years, and may it be the shortest. Damn.
Yeah, I was like, that is pretty badass. I loved that a lot.
I also love the fact that this man is just sitting there eating dinner, completely bricked up.
Dude, yeah. There's actually a really good line with that too.
Yes.
Because like when she throws it, he like stands up, right?
Yeah.
And it says something about like his dick was pointing at her like an accusatory finger.
Yeah.
And as he was dying, it like shriveled up and fell. And then it was like as he was dying, the dick shriveled up and fell. And then the dick behind it fell to the ground as well. And
I got to highlight it.
Yeah.
I got to highlight it. I'm ready for you.
Hell yeah.
The line is, then the dick shriveled and the dick behind it crashed forward onto a huge roast of beef and a mountain of herb rice. Great. That had to be why he named him Grey Dick. Like that was probably the punchline.
Oh yeah, he was so proud of himself.
Yes, he's like the dick and the dick behind it. There it is. And we're done.
Yep.
Oh, King.
And then so Roland is gonna he starts coming up with a plan now that he knows about like the sisters of Ariza. He actually tells Margaret to gather as many of the other sisters as she can and meet him without their husbands in 10 days time, and he wants to kind of gauge their skills or whatever. And she's like, all right, bet, but if he doesn't want me to fight, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And Roland's like, okay. But in his head, he's like, if I tell them to, they will. Which is an example of something that we talk about later in the next chapter.
Yeah.
But he also starts coming up with another plan. And this is... I wrote down, like, he realizes he needs to entrust this plan with somebody. We don't exactly know what it is yet.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know who. Susanna's not an option because of Mia. He can't talk to Eddie because something might slip out to Susanna and then get to Mia.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to burden Jake with it because, one, Jake's just a kid and he's, becoming friends with Benny.
Yep.
And then, so he was on his own again, and this condition had never felt more lonely to him.
That's interesting that
And
he
then I was
actually
like,
is feeling a little human feelings here
Yeah.
of being alone. Yeah. Okay.
But what about our new com member?
That's what I was thinking. Like, we
That's what I
got a
was
new
thinking.
one. We got a new one right there.
Yep. So I was like, all right, that's how he and Father Callahan are gonna get tight.
A little bonding, right?
Yeah.
Whenever we get to see Margaret throw the plate herself out by the whatever they were throwing out, right? The one thing I did want to say, the great letter, there's rice stalks on the plate, and there's one that they cross in a specific manner that makes a great letter.
Yeah. In the ebook, it just said like the great letter ZN.
Yeah, that's what it gave for me too. Like, zzz.
Did it give you like a drawing of it at all or
Ooh,
anything?
let's see.
I was wondering if like maybe there was like sometimes they'll do a line break and it'll have like a little illustration or something. I tried Googling it, but I just found like things talking about this chapter, and I didn't want to click into any of them really. But I was just trying to like see if I could find a picture of it, and I could not. It was weird.
Yeah, it's an interesting one to not really have anything to look at. Let's see. Where are we? We're in Telling Tales, right? Still?
This is Telling Tales: The Tale of Grey Dick.
Riveting content, I know, guys.
So while we wait for that, is that a like a fidget spinner with like little poppets in it?
Yes, check it out.
Hell yeah, dude!
Great.
That is sick. Oh my god, I love it.
One of my parents gave it to me. He was like, I know you'd probably be the one that would like something like this. I'm like, hell yeah.
Got
Man.
little poppers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's great.
I wanted like the little like popper, like the big ones.
Yes.
And apparently this one they're like, well, not only we'll devise rules for a game for it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like segmented into little spots.
Yeah.
And like you can press down as many as you want, but you can't press down any that aren't in that segment. And the people take turns going back and forth, and like whoever pops the last one is the loser.
Oh.
So it's like, I want to pop down like 5 of the 6 here in this line.
Yeah.
And so you can either go to a new line or you can pop this one, but whoever pops the last one overall is the loser. And I was like, that could be an interesting game.
Yeah. I don't know. This is written in such like different font that
It's hard to catch.
catching what, because like I was like, okay, about right here. Then we're talking about Rosalita Muna. Oh, Nocturne and Hunger. So that's later. Okay.
You're getting closer though.
I think so. You saw something there, right? There it is. I got nothing.
It still just says the end.
The end. That's all I got.
Well, the great letters in.
The end and end. Whatever the fuck that is. I mean, that's not a blend or any type of digraph I know of, but
Yeah.
Who knows?
CNN, it's the Zoo News Network, telling all about Judy Hopps' latest crime that she stopped.
I thought you were gonna say Judy Garland. Isn't that the ape girl? Or,
No, Judy Garland was
oh, she's fucking
Wizard of Oz.
yeah, she's Dorothy, ain't she?
Yeah.
What's the ape girl? What's her name? Isn't it Judy something?
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of her name either.
Wow. Judy Garland, sorry.
No, I was making a Zootopia joke.
Yeah. Is it bad? I've never seen that, and all I know about it is the Rule 34 of that damn rabbit. That's all I know about that movie.
I like the way you said it. Like there's a specific Rule 34 that you're talking
No,
about.
just
Or just that
just
it exists.
the fact that she
Yeah.
is like a target of a lot of Rule 34s.
Yeah.
Don't Google Rule 34 if you're ignorant. Don't do that. It's not a good time.
Jane Goodall.
Jane Goodall. There we go. Okay. Goodall. I said Judy Garland. JG.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Right track.
all right, we're getting on to Grandparents' Tale. We close enough?
Yeah, we're on Grandparents' Tale now. All right, so while Roland is with the Eisenharts, Eddie and Susanna are visiting the Jaffords to hear Grandpa's story of killing the wolf. Eddie is speaking with Tian about his grandfather, and there's clearly some bad history and trauma there, but Eddie writes it off as Tian just holding a grudge and tells him to get over it. After a bit, they return home and have some fun and some food. After dinner, Gramps begins to tell Eddie his tale. 3 or maybe 4 raids ago, when he was 19, they attacked some of the wolves outside of town. He and 3 friends ambushed a group of 4 wolves. Gramps was the only survivor on his side, but in the fray, one of his friends, Molly, was able to kill a wolf with one of her throwing plates. He unmasks the dead wolf after the 3 others leave and sees... ... Well, we aren't sure because he whispered it in Eddie's ear.
Yeah. And that's where that's basically like the information that we get. But there's a lot more stuff to go over in this.
Oh,
this little
absolutely.
chapter, so.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
First of all, I got some beef with Eddie here.
Ooh, Eddie beef.
Yeah, because like the whole time, Tian's like, yeah, he's kind of, my grandpa's kind of been a piece of shit my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie's just like, fucking get over it. I don't care that he sucked and was kind of a bad like father role and that he's trying to like mac on your wife. Get over it. Stop holding a grudge. He's old. He's your grandpa.
Especially since Eddie has such a problem with Henry.
Right.
Like this does not make sense. You should
like
one person to talk to.
Right. Be like, yeah, Eddie. It would make more sense if Eddie was like, I get it, man. Fucking family. But, we got to do what we got to do, right?
Yeah.
But no, he's just like, get over it. Stop holding a grudge.
Is that supposed to show growth in Eddie? But just in like the
Feels like-
worst possible way?
Growth in the wrong direction.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think that there was many things really wrong with Eddie's character in the first book that we meet him.
Yeah.
Like, he's a relatively a rootable character. Like, you're not gonna be like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. I don't want him to succeed.
Yeah.
I want him to get his chicken. I want him to go back to New York and get some chicken.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like what I was kind of expecting after like Tian was telling us about like how much Grandpa kind of sucked,
Yeah.
like a more realistic or a more Eddie version of this would be kind of like, would be like him being like, damn. I mean, we have to look past it for now because the wolves are a more pressing matter.
Mm-hmm.
But I get where you're coming from, man.
Yeah.
But he's just like, nah, fuck that. He's like, get over yourself.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't catch that, and that doesn't make much sense.
And
Really.
I was like, damn, is that just? And like other characters kind of also act like Eddie, and I'm like, is this just like King bleeding through, or?
It does feel kind of old-fashioned. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, kind of a.
Right, like, who cares that your family did something bad to you? They're family. Get over it.
Yeah.
It also didn't really help that we don't really know like a whole lot of the details.
Mm-hmm.
Like later we find out about one big event that like Grandpa's always kind of been mad at him for or whatever. But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Eddie just came off really like weird and judgy about that, and I was like, not my beautiful boy.
He's got a little smudge on him now. I like
Yeah.
that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Can't root for him all the way.
But yeah, so the oh, and when they come back to the farm to like eat and have fun,
Mm-hmm.
Eddie starts playing like jump rope with some of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And like the two runt, like the two runt ones, which are Tian and Zalia was her name.
Sounds right.
They're two siblings that live with them that were ruined the last time the wolves came. And they are like basically doing like double Dutch jump rope, like those two going super fast. Eddie and the kids are in the middle jumping and having a lot of fun. And Eddie's like, yeah, I used to do this a lot when I was a kid, but fucking Henry made me feel bad about it.
It's right there.
You're
Like,
right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like, so I stopped when I went to like to middle school because I was like, everybody's gonna make fun of me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
no, it was fun to see.
Were you ever good at like jump rope? Anything like that?
Oh no, not at all.
I did when I lived in Wichita still, we did a like jump rope for life or some bullshit, right? Where people pledged me money and I had to like jump rope that many times. It was terrible. I fucking hated it. I'm not good at it, for one. And for two, it was like I had like 2 hours to get all these damn jump ropes in while we were at school. And just sweating your ass off trying to get like 1,000 jumps in. It was like fucking terrible.
And like, I don't know. It, like, I can't. I don't have the hand-eye coordination for it or something. But
Yeah.
it's like every time it'll hit my shins or something.
Yeah. A lot of that I think also has to do with us being bigger than average.
True.
We just had a jump rope that fit. Yeah. That'd be nice,
Yeah.
And I'm talking height wise.
Yeah.
Just yeah. Like yeah, just so if you could have one that wouldn't hit you right there. But jump rope I
was always just coming down too soon. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like
oh yeah.
like I was jumping up too early or something.
Maybe swinging too fast. You just weren't
Or
getting your
that,
rhythm
maybe,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Because there was a time that I was in high school. I was pretty good at jump rope, and I could do like 1 foot or two because I was trying to cut weight for wrestling. I need a way to burn calories quick.
I could just never get the timing right,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah.
If you want me to just jump in place?
Yeah, I can
I
do
could
that.
do that for sure. I could do that for a while.
Have you
but-
seen those little like jump ropes that aren't jump ropes? They have like handles and a little string, and they spin. They have like a
So you still kind of get the weight of it?
yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't mess up.
Well, there we go. Okay.
What the fuck is the point though? Just jump.
Yeah.
Do you really need to get like?
You that slight arm workout?
Yeah. Your fucking delts are gonna be huge from doing this for 2 minutes.
My wrist is gonna be swole.
Man, there was I was listening to a podcast the other day of somebody that turned 40, and they wanted to prove themselves they were still like athletic, and they jump roped for 40 minutes. And I'm like, holy shit, that sounds like a fucking death sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be terrible. 40 minutes.
40.
It's not like they were like this like athlete either. It was was actually the Always Sunny podcast. So it was like one of their writers came on there. So I'm like, oh my God, that sounds terrible.
So just some dude.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Just out there and just jump rope. But yeah, people are crazy. Like the people that still, okay, how do I put this? This is kind of pointless, but I want to talk about it.
I'm excited.
I've been in a gym a lot in my life. I've done things in gyms with weights and put up numbers. Getting underneath a squat bar at 30 is stupid. What are you doing? Why are you still trying to grow your quadriceps, hamstrings, and gluteus maximus at 30? Stay in shape. Why are you trying to have this fucking like horse's ass of a lower end? Like
We're gonna be sculpted.
but why? Like that's what people that do, like, good for you. Like I love it. You know, whatever you need to do to feel better about yourself, makes you feel good. You look good. You have a great life. But I will never get under a squat bar again. I am cool. It's not fun. It was fun, but thinking back to it now, it's like you never forget how to learn a bike. I feel like weightlifting is the exact opposite because you get so weak so quick.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I mean,
and like it's a lot about form and
like muscle, just getting used to it. Like I've been able to squat over 500 pounds since like senior year of high school. I don't want to get under more than 200 right now. Like it would destroy my groins. I don't want to touch it, you know? So it's like, there's just no way I'm going to try and do this again. And people that still lift, and I end up on like weightlifter TikTok way too often just because there's some deep seated fucking, oh yeah, I remember doing this. This is kind of cool. Then it gets stuck in your algorithms like a fucking head cold, and you just got to deal with it for a couple of days, you know?
Yeah. It winds up on mine sometimes too. And I'm like,
You got
why me?
I love that. I'm glad I'm not. It's like that and golf talk, which I don't give two fucks about ball golf.
Oh, I've not gotten golf on mine.
Okay.
Well, I've gotten mini golf sometimes, but mini golf's cool. So
Mini golf feels like ironic, and like those are some of the pages that I follow. You know, so like I get that part of the algorithm, but like actual like on a golf course driving balls, and I'm like, why did I watch this for 30 seconds? And gross. I need to get out of here. You know.
No, no, actually though, but like mini golf, I'll get some mini golf ones sometimes where it's like, I guess like pro mini golf or whatever.
There's pro mini golf.
It's pro mini golf, and like mini golf's cooler than regular golf because you can just do whatever the fuck you want with those courses.
Yeah.
And like
they also don't take up acres.
Yeah, that too.
Acres of fucking land.
Yeah,
Those
for
golf courses,
fucking
crazy.
nothing.
Crazy.
But yeah, so it'll be people like kind of like figuring out how to do like the trick shots or whatever, and like you'll see them like kind of calculate and like swing up and like just bounce everything off and get a hole in one.
That's fucking badass.
I'm like mini golf is way cooler than regular golf.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because it's regular golf is fucking dumb.
It is dumb.
It's so boring to watch too.
Oh, watching is absolutely the worst thing. Same thing I feel about baseball. Like I'm not gonna watch. I'll play baseball. I've played baseball. I like playing adult softball if I had a team play on. I'm not gonna watch professional fucking baseball game. It's so boring.
Yeah, my grandpa, he's a huge baseball guy.
Yeah.
And so there have been plenty of times where I have watched a game with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, cool. I'm done for the next. This is it for like the next year or so for baseball games for me.
You've hit your quota, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm good.
I'm like, you know what? I had a good hour and a half here with you, but
what, did you only watch 2 innings? Like, how'd you get an hour and a half?
That's when I decided to leave.
Yeah, man. Holy shit. There's some, because like it's one of those sports that doesn't have like a destined end time because there's not a clock. You know.
Yeah.
You have to get 9 strikes. You have to get 27 strikes. Basically, that's like the quickest way to do it. You know, 3 times. Oh wait, 27 strikeouts. So it'd be what? 3 times 27 would be 54, 61, 81. I think that's the math I just did.
The checks out, yeah.
I think so. Yeah. 81 strikes is the quickest way you can get like done within a game. But I could just not done 9 times 9. Idiot. Anyways, 9 strikes an inning times 9 innings. I could have done that, but
yeah. And like, I get the appeal of watching baseball more, at least, because like there's more stuff going on and people are like actually running around and whatnot. So there's
Then
things
golf, or what more than what?
like golf. You just see one guy stand there, swing, and then you go up to the sky and just watch a ball move through blue for a little bit.
And then it drops down in
Yep.
either grass or big grass, and they either cheer or boo.
Yeah, but like baseball, like it's faster paced. You get to see like just more people doing stuff, more stuff moving around.
Yeah.
Still boring. I get that for
Yeah.
sure, but more entertaining than golf.
For sure. Yeah, watching golf is like really bad. I will watch disc golf though. That's always fun.
The last time I watched golf was in a hospital waiting room, and I was like, "This feels right.
Yeah,
This feels like the right setting for this."
it's purgatory. Like time does not exist in a hospital waiting room. It's just you're there and time goes by.
Yeah.
You don't know how fast or how slow. You don't know what you're supposed to eat. Like, did you need sustenance while in a hospital? Probably not. But it breaks up the monotony of being there.
Right? Yeah.
We need to see who can go the longest without eating in a hospital waiting room, and see if there is. Do you need food while there, or is it a time? Or is it a place at a time? All right, back to the book. Where are we?
So one part when Eddie and Tien are talking, Tien says this word trum, and Eddie's like, "Trum?" Tien thought about how to explain it. If he was to stick your head in a rock cat's mouth, that'd take courage, wouldn't it? It would take idiocy, was what Eddie thought, but he nodded. If he was the sort of man who could convince someone else to stick your head in a rock cat's mouth, that'd make you trum. You're Din's trum, ain't he? So trum is basically like, a word for somebody who is very convincing or more of a leader. He's able to get people to do something.
See, the first word that came to me was manipulative.
That too, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Huh.
And so that's why I was saying earlier, we'll kind of come back to Roland being like, well, they'll throw him if I ask him to.
yeah.
Because he's Trum.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. We also in this chapter get some of Eddie being suspicious of Andy. Because, he talks to the Jaffordses about Andy and like, he asks them like, "Oh, can he do this for you guys?" They're like, "No, he'll ask for a password." And Eddie's like, Directive 19. And they're like, "Yeah, how'd you know about that?" And he's like, "Well, I asked him about the wolves, and the same thing happened to me on that." And I can't remember exactly what it was in this chapter, but it was like definitely some simpler stuff. But Eddie's like, well, he's, keeping secrets. He won't do stuff for you guys, especially if it's considering the wolves or defending y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know where he came from. So Eddie's starting to be suspicious of Andy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a little bit of a theory next chapter, but we'll get to it.
Can't wait. So we got to get to the part right here. We just talked about trauma. It's on the same page. Out of context, or even in context. Tien gave a short laugh. I'd not risk a mule out there, Eddie. Then what? I plow my sister.
I forgot that was the wording.
Eddie's jaw dropped. You're shitting me.
I took that completely at face value when I was reading it. I was just like, that's so fucking funny.
I thought that's what Eddie was reacting to at first, was the wording. But no,
probably both. Honestly.
Like, either way, this is bad.
Yeah.
And that's still your sister. But he goes on. Not at all. I'd plow Zal, too. He's bigger, as you saw, and even stronger, but not as bright. More trouble than it's worth. I've tried.
God damn it. None of that clicked until you said it out loud for me. That's so fucking funny.
Oh, man. I forgot about that line. I read it in that one. I put a mental note down, and I'm really happy you stopped on this page so I could find it. And he shook his head, feeling dazed. No shit. I got Tien out here just plowing root kids, bro.
God damn it.
Terrible.
I was just reading that being like, Eddie was like, you use your sister as farm equipment?
Yeah.
But that's much better.
All right.
Oh my god. Oh, we also got some foreshadowing. So after the jump rope fun, Susanna tells Eddie, like, I love you. Like, they're kind of like looking at each other and making like lovey-dovey faces. And the thing says he knew that however much she might love him, he would always love her more. And as always, when he thought these things, the premonition came that Ka was not their friend and that it would end badly between them. Like, ooh.
Between whom? Was it Eddie and Susanna?
Eddie
or...
and Susanna is what I imagined is what he meant, yeah. It's like, oh, this will end unhappily for one of us or both of us.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess, you know, most relationships do either end in either a
Death or divorce, right?
A bad breakup or death, yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's kind of what you get signing on, right?
Right, yeah. There's usually not a happy way.
Yeah, how can you end happily?
Right, like, I don't think you really end unless
Bad
you're
things happen.
unhappy. So
Yeah, or you're unhappy because it ended.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, foreshadowing for sure.
You had to put money on it. Who's not making it? Because I don't think they're going to break up. I don't think they're going to. The love is going to fizzle out.
I think Susanna lasts longer than Eddie.
Yeah.
I don't have a reason for that, but that's just my gut feeling.
Okay. Top of the head. The 5 Kotet members. Who lasts the longest?
Roland.
Okay. He's 1. Who's 2?
Either Susanna or Jake.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one.
Okay. So you think Eddie's expendable? You think
Calla? I don't think he's I think to King he's expendable.
He's too likable of a character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
like,
tough.
Like that's how we're gonna get our heart broken is by the guy that we really like getting
so what would hurt more, Eddie or Jake? With it only being one of them. So like even Eddie reacting to Jake, Roland reacting to Jake, or Roland reacting to Eddie, Jake reacting to Eddie, Susanna reacting to Eddie.
Susanna reacting to Eddie.
Okay.
Would hurt the most, I think.
Okay.
I
think Eddie and Jake would be tough.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really tough one to watch or to read, you know?
Yeah. Though now that you mention it, like Roland, if Jake died, that would be very interesting to see. It would either hurt a lot or it'll be like, just depending on how it happens, like either hurt a lot because like Roland is trying to redeem himself from last time, or what if, like, that doesn't happen and he doesn't get redeemed and it's his fault again? That might hurt even more. Or it might be just kind of like this fucking guy.
Yeah, so like break bad.
Right.
Like go full Heisenberg and be like the bad guy in order to get his goal, and it means costing Jake again. That'd be rough.
That would be rough.
Yeah.
But no, I could see, like, if Jake dies again, it breaking Roland.
Yeah, I could see it not being great.
Yeah.
What about Callahan? You feel like we're just gonna get him and he's gonna die?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it to the end of the last book.
What about the end of this book? Think it's gonna last another 300 pages?
I think he will.
Okay.
Because they talked about him joining the Ka, so I'm like, he'll probably be in the next book.
Okay.
I get that vibe.
Yeah.
Either he's gonna stay with the village, or he'll join them in the next book. I don't feel like he's. I don't know. I don't get the vibe that he's gonna die.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, then we get Grampier talking about his story.
Yeah.
And it's kind of badass. I like it a lot.
Yeah, they're like, it reminds me of, like, I don't know, like just young. It's like kids going off to war is what it reminds me of. You know, signing up for the draft, World War II,
yeah,
Vietnam,
I mean, he's
whatever.
19. And his friends are all around his age too.
And just signing up and, like, what is it called? Visions of Grandeur? Is that what it's called? Where you, like, just hope that you could do something great and be better than what you are. So, yeah, it reminded me of that, of like, fuck it, we're going to do it. We're young, we're invincible. They got there, and 2 of them were not.
I mean, yeah, I think it was 4 of them against 4 of the wolves, and one of the wolves died, and only one of the people survived, and that's because he faked his death.
Yeah. Did they talk about what kind of weapons the wolves had? I forget.
They had a word for it, but I forgot what it was. But it was like they had like they called them like light sticks.
Yep.
And then they had another thing that they like threw out at the people.
Yep.
Sneeches.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. They're basically just like someone's like rotating like fan blades. It was like a ball that turned into like fan blades that would be able to.
Oh, like Green Goblin.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's definitely who I envision is like a Green Goblin ball.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that because they're like, oh yeah, Green Goblin.
Yeah.
for sure.
That's a great way to put it. I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine now I'm thinking like Raimi read these and he was like, oh fuck, I gotta use that.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I got Willem Dafoe. You know, I got to go crazy with this fucking character.
Right.
You know. What up? Is Green Goblin like Spider-Man's arch nemesis? He's up there because
depends.
he's Harry's uncle. Like even in comic canon, right? Or not uncle, but dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, it just kind of depends on the run. Spider-Man doesn't have like, you know, a Joker, like Batman
Lex
does,
Luthor or nothing like that. Yeah.
But I'd say that like his are always either Green Goblin, Venom, or Doc Ock.
I'll put Lizard in there too.
Lizard, yeah,
just because of the personal connection that Peter has with him.
Yeah,
so.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, those are definitely the 3 that like Marvel focuses on the most.
Yes.
Yeah, Lizard's such a good villain though.
And I feel like they've never done it right.
Yeah.
Like they were setting it up for the Raimi verse to have another like they had that goddamn scientist in there with no arm, like all 3 goddamn movies.
Yeah.
Just to not ever fucking have it pay off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were definitely leading up to it.
And can I say like Venom has never been done right on screen? To me.
Yeah, not on film. Animated wise, he has been.
Oh,
but yeah.
sure, he's great. He's great in the animated.
Yeah.
Except in the animated stuff, like on live action. No, I haven't liked any Venom, and I'm always so
Is
hyped.
it fucking Topher
Grace.
Topher Grace. Yeah.
Goddamn Eric Foreman is supposed to be Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing about those 2. They just dyed him blonde and said, "Here you go, kid. Go be a fucking weirdo."
Like Eddie Brock and Venom are supposed to be everything that Spider-Man is, but better, except not as smart. Like,
yeah,
he's supposed to be bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. He has unlimited web because it's all just part of the symbiote. He blocks out the spider sense, but while still having his own spider sense.
Yeah.
The only thing that Peter has on him is that he's smarter.
And that's the whole. That's why Venom left Peter, right? Because he's like, this is basically a better person, right? Or did he tear him off? I forgot. Different iterations, but
so the very first like Peter Parker with the symbiote thing is that like Peter forced it away basically. Like he was like, this is bad for me. It is turning me into a bad person. It is taking control of my body while I'm asleep to go fight more crime.
Okay.
And so like.
You seen? I can't remember what movie it is, but like of a little kid trying to get a dog to leave. It's like yelling at it. It's like my dog Spot or some shit like that. Don't get. I don't want you. Oh my God. I need to see Peter doing that to the symbiote.
But like, I think in Spider-Man 3 they did do the church tower.
Yes.
Yes. So that is kind of how he did it in the comics too, is like, because it is, the symbiote is very weak to like noise.
Yes.
So he did force it off that way, and a little bit of it like escaped or whatever, and found Eddie Brock, who recently like in the comics what happened was he had this story about he was working at like a competitor to the Daily Bugle, I believe.
Yeah.
And he had this story about like, oh, this guy is like in charge of all this criminal stuff, yada yada. But he didn't really do his research, and then like he put this story out, and then like shortly afterwards, Spider-Man like proved it wrong. And so like Eddie lost all of his reputability. He lost his job. And so like he hated Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
They found and then somehow he and the symbiote found each other, and the symbiote is basically like a a scorned ex who hates Peter, and also is originally kind of trying to use Eddie to get him back to Peter so that he can be like join with him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how they originally did it in the comics.
Okay.
Which I only really knew that because like that. I think I was telling you about that like Spider-Man book I was reading recently.
Yes.
I
think I was mad at.
Yeah, with that really bogus review.
Yes.
But part of it, like it is it is like based on the old comic continuity, and so like it goes into a lot of the backstory with Eddie and Peter, and then I looked it up to see like how canonical or whatever, or like how accurate it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just basically like relaying the information off the original comics.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I really liked Venom in like the Ultimate Spider-Man comics as well.
Yeah.
And then in the like Spectacular Spider-Man TV show, they kind of played off the Ultimate comic storyline, and I think they did really well in that show.
Hell yeah.
That show got screwed over.
Did it?
It only got to go for like one season, because like the network airing it like fucked it over, and like so it just never really got popular. Like they put it at like bad time slots and inconsistent time slots.
Yeah. Man, network executives just costing us. It's gross.
And the fact that cartoons can almost only ever be successful if they have good toy sales.
Which is, yeah, that's really disappointing. Never even thought about it like that, but that's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
I did have a Venom toy when I was younger that was badass. His tongue came out.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. It was like one of my favorite. God, I had a Doc Ock too. I had a whole bunch of Spider-Man shit. That was my guy.
Hell yeah. Spider-Man's the greatest.
Spider-Man shows up in the Dark Tower. What are you doing?
Losing my mind, but like more in a confused way than like the Twin Towers fall in the.
All right. Well, back to this. Hopefully, we don't see Spider-Man.
So part of the flashback, like he starts talking about like the fight, and at one point, I think it's three guys with like bows, which are basically crossbows, and one guy has a bow, and then a lady who's one of the sisters of Ariza with some throwing plates.
Yeah.
She's about to throw one, and they like slice her arm off.
Yeah.
And so she like we get a line where Molly pries the dish from her own dead fingers, as she goes up to her severed arm to get the plate back.
Yeah.
I'm like that line. Molly pries the dish from her own dead fingers. I was like, that's
crazy.
badass.
That's crazy.
Feels like very metal.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically they fight. Molly kills one of the wolves. The wolves kill the other three of the people, and they hit Grampier, whose name is Jamie. They hit him, and he basically lies there pretending to be dead.
Yep.
He's like, they're probably going to see through this and kill me anyways, but this is the only way I make it home. If they somehow don't realize that I'm faking. But yeah, they leave, and he goes up to the fallen wolf and like pries its mask off, and then that's where the story cuts off.
So there's some kind of a metal mesh. So I gotta imagine it's not, maybe a little flimsy. I mean, not like, I don't know, but they have fucking Doctor Doom mess. Like, they haven't mentioned that yet, but that's what the fuck it is.
Yeah, like Yeah, I remember
and lightsabers. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
All right.
But we then get a cool line when Grampier is like telling Eddie about the like what he saw under the mask. Yeah, so we'll get a dramatic reveal later.
Yeah.
But Grampier whispered 19 words as the last light died out of the day and night came to the Calla.
Yeah.
And so again 19. But also Grampier whispered 19 words as the last light died out of the day and night came to the Calla.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. What the fuck is going on here?
I was like, that was clever.
Oh, King.
I don't know what made me decide to count that, but I was like, after I read it, I was like, wait a second, that's kind of a oddly structured sentence a little bit.
Yeah,
It's a little long.
Yeah.
So then I counted the words and I was like, ah!
Gosh.
19 watch.
I love that after Grandpa whispers in Eddie's ear, they do the whole cliche, like, oh, it all makes sense. Like, oh, you motherfucker. Just fucking tell us, you asshole. We got so much book left, and I guarantee we won't find out to the goddamn last couple pages. You know? That Eddie's going to be dealing with, it's not dramatic irony, it'd be the other way around, where the character knows more than we do. Just frustrating as shit. Fuck you, King.
All right, Chapter 7, Nocturne Hunger.
Yeah.
In an interesting to read yet kind of hard to summarize trio of sections, Mia hungers once again. The chap is coming soon and he needs sustenance. Not just anything though, he needs something special. She wanders through the same castle as before, but things are a bit different now. The interior is deteriorating, the lights aren't as bright, and what little food remains is incredibly spoiled and unedible.
Mm-hmm.
She finds a roast that at first she thinks is a child, but then she realizes it's actually a pig, and she goes to town. Little does she know, Jake has been watching her this whole time, kind of like Roland had been before. We then hop over to Eddie, who is aware that Susanna is now up and sleepwalking around as Mia. He hears her walking back and forth below him in the barn that they're sleeping in, but nothing happens until he hears a squeal. At first, he thinks it's a child also, but then realizes it's one of the baby pigs. Susanna comes back to bed and kind of covered in blood. Yeah. And he's like, well, I'll have to clean that off of her in the morning. We then hop back over to Jake, who is just waking up from witnessing Mia's delusion. He was in her dream with her. He isn't entirely sure what to make of it, but realizes that Roland and Eddie had to have known about this and have been keeping it a secret. He thinks about telling Susanna, but realizes this would be the same as when Roland challenged Court when he was a kid and knew Jake wasn't ready for his own challenge of manhood.
Yeah.
However, he knows that all of these secrets have broken their quartet and they do not stand a chance against the wolves unless it can be reforged. Oy then leads him to a meeting between Andy and Benny the Elder. He can't make out what they're saying, but after they finish talking, Benny heads east. And nothing lies east except for the thunderclap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, first off, is she going to end up eating a fucking kid?
Yeah, that was strange that they kept on hitting on that.
Like, she's going to have to... She's gonna end up feeding this demon baby something wild, and like, is it an actual child? Is that what they're hinting at here?
Because they made it clear that it was a baby pig that she ate, right? Kind of
clear.
I don't
but
think...
also a little confusing. But I think once we got Eddie's section, it kind of cleared it up that it was just a pig.
Yeah.
But even he thought it was a kid squealing at first.
Yeah, that's not good. Next chapter, we have a kid missing. This is all bad.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably even still notice, like...
There's a piglet gone.
Yeah, hey, there's a piglet gone and tons of blood in the barn. What did you guys do last night?
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
We gave you a lot of food at dinner.
We just danced the Kamala. You're eating my pig?
Like my sister was just screaming about taters and gravy with y'all. We had dinner.
Yeah.
We would give you food. You don't have to eat one of our pigs raw.
Yeah. Baby pigs
weirdos.
too. I do like that you put this is hard to summarize because I had that exact thought while reading. Was the fuck are we going to talk about? Because there's much, but nothing is known. You know, it's just like details, and I can't see the full picture yet.
Right. Yeah, and it kind of like. Just the way that it's structured, like it's, three people's version of the same events.
Yes.
It was very cool, like reading wise, but like kind of details wise, not a lot happened.
It'd be cool to see done in like an episode.
Yeah.
Where at the beginning you would see like Susanna's version, then you go through and you do whatever, then maybe you go back a little time, you would see Eddie's version, then you go back a little more and see Jake's version, the real version of it, or whatever
Yeah.
you could see. You know, I don't know.
I think
Oh.
in Mia's, it would be kind of cool. Like you see like Jake kind of in the background, like because it does describe him in Mia's section a few times where he is like kind of watching but hiding.
Yeah. Strange.
But yeah, so more Andy suspicions.
Yeah.
He's talking to Benny the Elder, who then heads off to the Thunderclap.
Yeah.
They're meeting in the middle of the night in kind of like an abandoned area.
Yeah.
So like a secret meeting, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Benny.
Yeah.
But so here's where I had mentioned my theory about Andy.
Oh yeah.
So either this is King kind of doing what he does and not really keeping things a secret from us.
Yeah.
Because he likes to just lay things out.
Yeah.
So like either it's just Andy is obviously suspicious and like somehow in league with the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's all a red herring. And we're being like intentionally misled to think that. It's probably the first one, but I do think the second one would be very interesting.
What would be the purpose of misleading us with it, Andy? Like, there's a other big bad here.
But yeah, like there's another traitor to the town or something.
I think that'd be really interesting way to
Like,
look at it. Yeah.
Like it's leading us and the characters to all mistrust and like be suspicious of somebody. But when in reality it's somebody else who is like in cahoots with the wolves or something.
What if it's Callahan?
That would be insane.
That'd be a good mislead.
Yeah,
It'd be a good mislead.
absolutely.
Like he's trying to get this ball out of here. He's trying to do this. He's trying to do that. And he's kind of whatever. He's a man of Christ.
Yeah.
And no, he's a bad guy. Like fuck.
Another thing I thought, like when I was like, is she going to end up eating a child? Like,
Yeah.
is this going to become a cannibal situation?
Yeah.
I was also like, what if they end up feeding Black 13 to the demon baby?
Ooh.
And like
That
it-
really goes into how big do we think these fucking balls are? Because we
Well-
have very different views.
well, and like that's why I did like the air quotes, because I'm like,
Maybe she could like absorb it, like absorb its energy.
yeah, like
or
absorb like the power within it, or like somehow give it to the demon as it's being born,
something. I don't want.
and like it meshing with Black 13,
Yeah.
and like Black 13 like becoming part of its body or something.
I don't want any character to have the power of one of the wizard's balls.
Oh, absolutely
be
not.
Terrible.
Yeah. But if
That'd be a really cool way to kind of merge them. It's interesting.
if anybody was to have the power of it, some pissed off demon baby would be a very interesting person to give that power to.
The chap.
The chap.
Chap is a great name. All right. You got anything else?
Susanna probably has so many fucking parasites.
Or does it like
Or
just
just
the
bacteria.
demon baby just like take care of it?
Oh yeah, like he's just
It's like a tapeworm. You feed it bullshit, it's still gonna fucking eat it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just like, she's eating so many like raw animals and just like filth off the ground, and like, she didn't cook this pig.
No.
You have to cook pork or else you're gonna get worms.
Yes. I like that. We get another mention of the Dixie pig.
Yeah,
Remember we
yeah.
had
Mia's wearing that T-shirt for the Dixie Pig.
yeah, the Dixie pig Lexus 61st below it. Best ribs in New York City. Gourmet magazine. Yeah.
And we do specifically get like Jake is like, I will remember that address.
Yes. 21st and Lex.
Yeah, we get like
Or 61st and Lex.
Telltale Games like Jake will remember this.
Wait, what?
Oh, like have you ever played any like games from Telltale?
Huh.
Like they have like the Walking Dead game and like the Batman game.
Oh, yeah.
You do something and it'll be like, character will remember this, like just a little like thing at the top of the screen.
Oh, why?
Because it's kind of like a visual novel type thing.
Oh, okay.
And so it's kind of like letting you know some of the like the consequences of your choices.
Oh, okay. It's or somebody disliked this, like in Fallout.
Yeah,
But they'll remember this. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
like you do something, and the guy like looks at you like, and they'll be like, Jimmy, we'll remember this or something like that.
Fuck you, Jimmy.
Yeah, fuck you, guy.
Oh boy.
So yeah, not a lot of action in that chapter, but
No.
it was very interesting to read.
It's very.
It was also very short.
It's not the vibes.
Yeah.
This one, it's not. It's a rough one to kind of be like, ugh. Oh no, she's gross. I don't want to hear about eating frogs and nasty shit. See if I got any pictures. See if I missed anyone.
All right, yeah. Let's
We can
get
discuss.
some gross raw pig eating
Yeah.
action.
This should be a good time. Let's see. So that is coming up.
So I have one of the editions of, I think it was book 3. I'm blanking on the name right now.
Dance of the Kamala.
Oh, hell yeah.
I use a lot of these as thumbnail pictures. So if you guys are wondering where I was getting those,
Nice.
it's from online.
But in that one, they had like pictures. Some of the illustrations, it was like, why did you decide to put that here when that happened like 20 pages ago, or it's going to happen in 10 pages?
Yeah,
It's like,
when the fuck did this happen? And Eddie's blonde?
huh. So this picture is that just Eddie and Roland?
It looks like Eddie and Roland hanging off of the side of a cliff.
Yeah, they're just hanging off the side of the cliff and like shooting at something.
And we haven't had guns fired this book.
No.
So
Wait. Didn't earlier on in this book Roland have like a flashback to like the war thing when they were fighting? Could that be
yeah,
what that is supposed
could
to
that be Cuthbert?
Could that be Cuthbert?
I mean, Roland is like Canadian tuxedoed out, all denim right now. Yeah.
I forgot that term.
I don't fucking know, but I appreciate all the pictures.
Oh yeah, they're
a
very
good
cool.
one. Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I have no idea. Yeah, that's the one that I always find. For eating the frog.
Oh yeah,
It's not great.
no,
No.
yeah, that's nasty.
Just bite its head. And yeah, you. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know if I do I have anything to recap over? I mean, I feel like it was that last chapter kind of like took my momentum out because there wasn't much to talk about. Like, all it was we could summarize it and then it was like, okay, here you go. We're done.
Right, there wasn't much to talk about outside of the summary for that one, other than just kind of the neat structure of it.
Yeah.
And just some more like foreshadowing, tension building for the eventual arrival of the Babby.
Yeah. There's this one is like probably the best contained book, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's the most happens. Oh, yeah, 90 pages. That this would be like a very easy season of a show. We have things that need to happen. We also have a lot of like filler episode type things. This next one took stories. Basically, not a filler episode, but it's like it's an isolated episode. Not much is going to happen outside of what is on the page.
Yeah.
A page after that, we have another fucking flashback with the priest. So, like, not much time is passing,
Yeah.
but we're learning a lot of information.
The next one's gonna be about Took's story. You said
Yes.
we forgot to mention that here. But, they did tell us that like in one of the previous attacks, or I guess raids, really, the wolves did burn down Took's store once upon a time.
Yeah.
And so they tell either Roland or Eddie, because I can't remember which chapter it was, that like he's gonna be hard to convince to join you on this effort because he don't want they burned down his grandfather's store and he's running it now, but they don't want it burned down again.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You gotta build my store back up, asshole?
That might be part of what we talk about next time.
For sure. And I think for next time, we'll read from Took's Store, The Unfound Door, up until book 3 of this, which is The Wolves. So that's at 470. Let's see. Yes. Up to part 3, The Wolves, chapter 1, Secrets.
All right. So yeah, we'll read chapters 8 and chapter 9.
Yep.
Okay.
and get through that, and we'll break that down the next time that we see you, because time is illusion, and whenever you're here, we're here. Whenever you're not here, we're not either.
Yeah.
We only exist whenever you watch YouTube videos.
Please come back.
Didn't we? Was that a discussion we had about like a book that if you're not reading, like they don't exist, they're stuck in time?
I think we talked about that one time, yeah?
Disturbing fucking thought.
Yeah?
Especially you create content out there, like in people's minds. Like the last time this person existed to me was whenever I watched this show.
Yeah. You know what I think it was that we were talking about that for? When they were kind of talking about like time is picking up again.
Oh yeah.
We're like, oh yeah, because we got the new book now. Now plot is happening. They're just kind of like frozen between the two.
I actually really like that.
Yeah.
The theory that I had. I was like, that's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
That their time doesn't exist unless we are here. And it's like, ah.
And now that we're getting closer to the end of the series and the books are coming out closer and closer to each other, things are ramping up.
Things are ramping up. And yeah, it's an interesting one. It's funny. Yeah. But, yeah, man, like, I think we're good with what we're reading. Next time we're gonna actually get into some meat of this. I think I really enjoy the second priest or the third priest tale because it gets a little more creepy. I think.
Oh hell yeah, hell
And
yeah!
I forget like, oh yeah, that does happen. Oh yeah, that is creepy as fuck.
I'm really liking Callahan.
He's a great character.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to like try to persuade you instead of just finding a character you like, but like there's characters in these stories that you should like. You should like Eddie. You should like Callahan. You don't like Roland, cool. You don't like Jake. Like it's hard to not. Could you dislike Jake?
I could see somebody disliking him, but I couldn't personally dislike him.
Same name. Is that why?
Yeah, I'm biased. Yeah.
Dark Tower Palaver did like a most loved Dark Tower character, and the final was Eddie versus Oi.
Oh, I can see that.
So
yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty. They did like 16.
Oi won, right?
I don't remember. I don't remember if it was Eddie or Oi. I don't remember. But yeah, like of course, Oi, Eddie, Callahan. He's just a good one. He's fun.
He's very fun. I like him a lot.
He's one that I want more story. I think that his little backstory could have been a book of its own, and I probably would have read it. You know,
Yeah.
if it would have came
absolutely.
out, I just don't think. I don't know. King would have fucking linked that. You know,
Yeah.
that you're gonna write Salem's Lot 2, and it's just one of the very side characters living in New York and fighting vampires.
Yeah, right.
It feels like a horror spinoff, you know, like you get one character that gets out alive.
Yeah.
Like
Salem's Lot 2, Callahan's Adventures.
Callahan's Revenge. But
Man on the Run. He's a priest, right? Father on the Run.
Father on the Run.
Salem's Lot 2, Father on the Run.
All right, we need to do like a. If you had to pick, we might do this for the end of this book. Give me like a playlist of songs that you feel like encapsulate this book.
Okay.
Like 5 to 10 songs. Or
Okay.
just songs that you would like, yeah. If I had to make the soundtrack for this movie or whatever it may be, I
Right.
think it'd be a really interesting, this little practice we could do. Because I really like doing the fan casting. I think that was fun. So like adding those here and there would be a
Yeah.
good time.
This made me think of how like Zach Braff won I think a Grammy for best soundtrack, and it was literally just like a playlist for one of like he didn't write any music. He just put together a playlist for his movie.
He was not a Grammy. It's probably a not an Oscar, Emmy for Scrubs or for
No, because Emmy's just TV, right?
yeah. Well, I didn't know what.
Yeah, no, it was
context.
best soundtrack for one of his movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he won I think it was a Grammy because he does have a Grammy.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Grammy
for
Award
best-
winner Zach Braff.
for that I think I used to, he and Donald Faison do like a Scrubs podcast,
Yeah.
and I listened to it at first, and then it kind of felt too like businessy, too corporatey.
Yes.
But he did mention like either he has an EGOT or he is trying to get the T.
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for stopping by. We've had a good time this podcast, and we've brought you some content. You've minded your business pretty well so far, so keep that up. And we'll keep on bringing you the content. I think I just lost my mic. So
Uh-oh.
do you want to send this out?
Yeah, follow us, on all the different social medias. Or did we lose me?
I think we lost you.
Oh, shit. Wait,
No, we lost me.
we lost you. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Jakey Poo on Twitter, redacted_posts on Twitter. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. We'll see y'all next time. We love ya. Mwah. Peace out. Toodles.